Welcome to England's World Cup 2026 squad announcement live show. I'm Kyle Walker and we are live from Wembley Stadium on a very special day. Thank you for joining us on the official England app. You are in the right place as we'll be announcing England's World Cup squad live, first and exclusively here in a few moments' time. Plus, we've also got the first interview with England manager Thomas Tuchel, so don't go anywhere. Now, it's not just myself that'll be going through all of the squad. Oh no, we've got two very special England legends as well.
Daniel Sturridge, and he finished. Theo Walcott does. Sturridge trying to whip it, he has done. Now into Walcott, surely onside, yes! Daniel Sturridge with the header. And Walcott scored again. Oh, that's what he's capable of.
Please welcome Daniel Sturridge and Theo Walcott. Thank you for being with us today. Oh yes, oh yes. Right, I need to get straight into this. Daniel, I'm coming to you first. How excited are you to hear Thomas Tuchel, to hear from him and to see who he's selected for the World Cup?
The anticipation has been killing me. I'm not going to lie. I've been waiting patiently. I'm so excited for this. Everybody's, watching around the world, and we have the privilege of providing the news. So cannot wait to see the squad. And yeah, buzzing for it, man.
I'm absolutely buzzing as well. Theo, we just saw some of your goals right here in Wembley. Rolling back the years there, does that make you excited and also bring back great memories of wearing the England shirt and representing your country?
Yeah, it does. I've got a lot more hair now as well, actually, which is surprising. But no, playing for England, which can be a stressful environment. However, also, like Daniel says, it's a privilege to play for England. It's like every boy's dream. It's a cliche. However, to play at Wembley Stadium, to be with the fans, that connection, which has come back, I feel, now, than it has done for many years, it's incredible. So I'm dead excited to see because, being part of that kind of mould and now to be on this side to see it and sit back and relax is actually quite refreshing, to be honest.
Have you both got a favourite memory of playing for England from both of you? Something that jumps out? Theo? I can see in your eyes right now. I can see it straight away. Go on.
Mine does, mine's quite easy to say. Yeah, 19 hat-trick against Croatia away. That was probably... might be beaten at some point, we'll see. Records are there to be beaten, but that was my favourite memory. It was incredible.
I love the way he says that just there. Yeah, Daniel, what's your favourite memory?
Scoring at the World Cup. It was always my dream to do that, so I was able to live that in Brazil. Unfortunately, we didn't perform to the level we wanted to, of course, but on a personal level, to do that, it will always live with me forever.
You guys have both scored at Wembley, so have I. So that makes three of us. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. Not for England, but they all count, as as attackers. Right. It's a big day for England as we learn who will be the 26 players that will fly out to try and win the ultimate prize in football, the World Cup. And to get you in the mood, here's a reminder of England's immaculate qualifying campaign.
Kane is born it down, gets his shot away and gets his customary goal. Reece James, there it is. Eberechi Ezri. Lovely feet. Brilliant from Ezri. Oh, that's terrific. Again, that's James. Cutting in. Still Anthony Gordon. There you go. Madueke is steaming through. It's Madueke for England. Foden for England. Setting up Eberechi Ezri. Kane at the back post. Rashford's delivery is a really good one, and Kane is up there again. That's a fantastic ball from Marcus Rashford.
8 wins out of 8, 22 goals scored, 0 conceded. What did you both learn about Thomas and how he likes to play from that campaign? Theo?
I mean, look, you keep a clean sheet, you're going to win things, aren't you? Of course, that campaign was very strong. But what I really loved was the way the forward players can access that freedom element, because he loves to have the wingers out, high and wide. You're always going to put pressure on the opposition team. The energy that it provides, the connections he has in the group, because it's not easy coming in as a club manager to then represent England as well, because there's going to be questions with that. However, he's done incredibly well. It's just now, can we do that next step in the tournament? But I feel like he's that man as well. Will make those tough calls. So I'm looking forward to like they said, the squad and how he copes in the World Cup.
How much positivity will that fill the squad, Thomas, all of the staff? 8 wins out of 8, scoring 22 goals, Daniel. They must be coming into this tournament really feeling, well, so high and so on a buzz, thinking, well, we can go into this, we can score goals, we can win games. It's what we do.
Yeah, it's confidence, continuity, then the momentum of these guys. We've got winners in the squad, players who are at club level, at the highest level, Champions Leagues, Premier Leagues and so on and so forth, and playing for top clubs around the world, and then ultimately playing for England. When you put that badge and that shirt on your back, you know, you want to push to the next level. So cool, 8 wins, 8 in the qualifications, that's what it's all about, right? But it's, again, to Theo's point, going to the next level now, going to the World Cup, hitting the ground running, the confidence is high within the camp, the boys are feeling good, the manager's clearly confident with what he's got, he's going to be confident in his decisions, I'm sure, when he sits down with us now. And as I said, the anticipation's building, man. It's so close to the World Cup now. This is what we've all been waiting for, right? We want to see our boys go out there and do a job, and yeah, just very excited for them.
It's not just Daniel and Theo who are excited about the squad announcement. England fans across the country are all desperate to find out who is on the plane. And we've got some of them with us in the studio now, haven't we, Morph?
We do indeed. I am with the heartbeats of English football, our England fan panel, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause. All right, Amanda, I'm coming to you first. Are you nervous? Are you excited?
All of those and more. Really, really excited to see what England can do. I think we can go all the way.
Before we obviously get into the moment that we're all waiting for, the squad announcement, is anyone going to the US?
Yes.
Who's travelling?
Yes.
Oh, so you're all going?
Yeah.
What energy are England fans going to be bringing to the US, do you reckon?
The support will be unbelievable. Every tournament, England fans always show up and they will just cheer the team to the victory.
And we all know the love for England runs deep. How far has someone's love taken England?
I mean, I've used up all my life savings for this, so we better win it.
We can only hope and pray for you. Right, over to Kyle, who will be chatting about squad selectors.
Yes, now the thing about England squads is that everyone has got an opinion. For the last 2 weeks, England fans, well, they've had the opportunity to select their own squads through our squad selector game. Theo and Daniel have also had a go. So let's dissect both of their squads. Daniel, we're starting with your selection. Talk me through your process here. What were the tricky decisions? Let's start with those.
Tricky, every decision was tricky. Come on now. What I would say is I went for a bit of a mixture of experience, you know, youth, creativity, very attacking on the front foot, very, very positive. And I just wanted the most creative players in my mind in the squad. You know, I feel like in tournament football it's slightly slower. It's not as all action as it is in maybe even in the friendlies and qualifiers, and especially at club level, it's very different in tournaments. So for me, I wanted players who I believe can unlock doors, who can create moments out of nothing. Those are the types of players I really appreciate. So that's what I've gone with. Gone with the experience, as I said, as well. Leaders in the group, as you can see, Danny Welbeck in there, leader, Maguire, experience. Those types of guys for me, it's the experience. And then the excitement of someone like a Lewis Skelly who's ended the season extremely well. Yeah.
Theo, let's take a look at your squad. Exactly the same through midfield, except you've gone with a few differences at the front and at the back as well. Talk to me about those changes.
Yeah, it's kind of similar in some ways of the way Studge was saying about the experience, because I think it's always important to have those guys to lean on who had that experience in previous tournaments. Not just that, the build up into the tournament, because that's where you need to really keep your composure, because it's a pressurised situation. There's a lot of stress involved in it as well. At times you're away from your family a long time as well, so you need to be able to get that balance with those connections with the team. I speak about connections because it's so important. Chemistry, of course, there's a few guys that had incredible seasons, but you need those players that make moments, because it's all about moments in tournament football. At some point you might not be really involved in the game, and suddenly something happens, and you need to be able to call on those guys. Someone like Palmer coming in for me is exceptional. So look, it's exciting, but mine's better than Studge's.
The competitive element still there.
They're already bringing the stuff together. We're supposed to be hanging out, man.
Sorry, man.
It's a squad of 26 players. Does that give the manager the opportunity to maybe throw a wild card in there? Theo, I'm coming straight to you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, look, I was thrown in and unexpectedly, and even myself. And I look back on it, I've spoken about it as well. It was a very scary environment to be involved in. I hadn't actually played at all in the Premier League as well, so that was kind of hard to accept for people thinking, what is he going? And I get that now in an older head, and I look at it, back thinking, wow, yeah, I understand those views. However, I still had to go there as a 17-year-old, still developing my own mind, learning the game still in a first-team environment. But what's really important is having those guys who speak about experience. I had Ashley Cole, Sol Campbell really looked after me, not just at Arsenal, but in England, because I didn't know what to expect, because there was going to be plenty of talk, about this kid going. But, it helped me later on in other sort of games with England. So what a tournament. But I was getting people following me around. Paparazzi is very different with the social media side of things now. But it was scary. I can't deny that.
I can imagine.
But exciting as well.
Of course. It's not much longer to wait now. As you can see, the countdown to the announcement has started in the top corners of your screens. You'll find it here before anywhere else, so do not go anywhere. Daniel, your first tournament was the World Cup in Brazil. I mean, wow, that must have been pretty special.
As I said, live my dream. As a kid, I was also inspired by Brazilian football and the players that they had. So, for myself, being able to play football in Brazil, representing my country, was an amazing experience. Obviously, as I said, we didn't perform to the level we would have liked to, but I did live my dream. I got to score, got to play with some amazing teammates, live some amazing experiences. You build that camaraderie, that chemistry with these guys that lives on forever, and it's a shared experience that you will all have, and you'll always have those memories, regardless what happens in life, to say, yeah, I was in Brazil, I went to the favela, but ultimately, World Cups are tense experiences. They're ones that are demanding. They're ones that, test your mentality. And I'm really, really, as I said, I know we keep going on about it, but really excited and anticipating what's to come for these players. We've knocked on the door so many times recently. And, maybe this is the year that things change.
How will the players be feeling, waiting for that nod from Thomas Tuchel to go to a major tournament, Theo? Right now, they're waiting to find out. How do you think they'll be feeling?
I'll be nervous, of course, but also excited in that element of, surprise is great. And, look, the players understand that, it's not just them they're playing for as well. And I think it's important for them to enjoy it, because it's such a pressurised situation. We spoke about this. And it's not to really dive into that too much, because they all know what they're doing. They know how to play football, and they've had exceptional seasons. You're 26 best players in England, so you're there for a reason, and you've got the best man for it.
They definitely do. Right, we are moments away from our announcement. You'll be finding out right here on the official England app, live and exclusively, our England squad that will be going to the World Cup this summer. Everyone in the room is super excited. Let me hear from the fans. You guys excited? Right, well, it is time. Here is the announcement for your official England squad going to the World Cup.
Saved by Jordan Pickford. And James Trafford saves. What a moment for the England goalkeeper. Reece James. There it is.
Here comes Spence on the charge.
Towards Quansah with a header. England purring right now. O'Reilly. Dan Burn was up there. And Ezri Konsa has an England goal. Guéhi coming round the back and finishing it up. John Stones again. Henderson, great feet, great finish. And then Mainoo. To Henderson, chance to shoot for him. They hit the bar. Declan Rice. Eberechi has it. It's Bellingham. Back to Saka. This is what he brings you. Something out of nothing. Madueke is steaming through. It's Madueke for England. Still Anthony Gordon. There you go. King of the spot kicks, scores for England. Towards Kane, who's brought it down, gets his shot away, and gets his customary goal.
There we have it. That's the squad. There's lots to talk about, lots of questions, I'm sure, and we'll be speaking to the man with all of the answers shortly. Yes, Thomas Tuchel will be in the studio on this sofa very soon, so stay with us. Right. Let's get into it then. Theo, Daniel, we have the full squad here for you. Let me get your immediate thoughts to that. Theo, what do you make of it?
I'm actually disappointed it's not my squad, to be honest. That's why I'm not the England manager.
Yeah.
Look, it's always going to be, a demand from, loads of different views. And look, these are players that have had, incredible seasons to get into the World Cup squad. I mean, there's a bit of experience there. There's some players that, of course, that you would expect that are there, they're not there. Like some Maguire who's done, incredibly well. However, looking at the team, I'm really pleased with Marcus Rashford. When I look at the whole squad, and I look at him, I focus on him because players, are on the wing as well, and they always expect to do that, and he takes risks, and he's taken a risk to go out abroad as well, and he's been rewarded by it as well. So I'm pleased with him. He's going to have a really important summer. I think we can lean on him a lot this one. He's got a lot of experience, and he's exciting. He's brought that freedom back into his game. So I'm pleased to see how he develops in that stage.
Right, we can look at goalkeepers just here. Dean Henderson, Jordan Pickford, James Trafford as well. A tournament debut for him. Been a huge move for him, obviously, being at Manchester City. Daniel, a great opportunity for him to really show, maybe on the world stage, what he can do.
Absolutely. He's earned the right to be in the squad. Whenever he's had an opportunity at City, he's delivered. Of course, we know, Jordan Pickford is the main man. And Dean Henderson's an incredible goalkeeper as well. Amazing options for the managers to choose from.
Definitely is. And at 34 years young, Dan Burn is going to the World Cup. I mean, that's one of the stories of the tournament, Theo.
It's a great story, and not just that. He brings that energy, he brings that chemistry and that connection with all the players there. But what's interesting as well, it's a lot of them's first World Cup in this back line, and it's a really important defence, which has been great in the qualifying stages. John Stone, pleased for him as well. He's going to be the guy I feel like a lot of those guys can learn from going into this tournament football with those 3 World Cups. So, yeah, it's a nice lineup there. It's a lot of youth, which is great to see.
Pretty much spot on through the middle from both of you with your squad selectors as well. We have to talk about those midfielders. No space in the squad for Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. Again, Daniel, big stories.
Mm-hmm. Big stories, yes, and likewise in the defence as well. Big story, Trent not being involved, Lewis Skelly not being involved, Maguire not being involved. So there's big stories all across the board, really. But it's an incredible selection as well. So, you give the manager credit for going with what he believes is best. Exciting players. Obviously, Kobbie Mainoo was out the fold at Manchester United and worked his way back in. Really, really happy for him. He's put in the work. Morgan Rogers just lifted the Europa League, as we saw. He'll be buoyed in full of confidence as well. And then you see the ones probably more to the left. Hendo brings that experience, you know what I mean, and that mindset there. So all in all, it's a really exciting midfield.
And let's talk about the forwards as well. Ivan Toney was last in the squad last June, but will always be remembered for that no-look penalty, I'm sure, at the 2024 Euros. Theo, what options does he bring, having him there for you as well?
Well, he's a specialist in that side of it, but not just that. I think he kind of has that same stature as Harry Kane. I mean, I had DCL in mind as well, which I felt he's had an incredible season. Being at Leeds and done exceptionally well, so he'll be disappointed. But loads of players disappointed, I get that. However, Ivan's there not just on the penalties itself. I think what he's done out there, he's done great. But it just shows, it doesn't really matter where you play at times, as long as you can get rewarded. And I think he's done really well, because, again, it's a challenge for him. But like I say, everyone's squads are very different. Everyone's squads are always going to be that debate. But look, these guys, we've got to trust the manager, because he's seen a lot of things that we haven't seen.
Ultimately, the manager gets paid the big bucks. That's why we're not the England manager, right? So we got to trust his decisions ultimately.
Brilliant. Well, that's what Daniel and Theo make of the 26. Morph, I could hear lots of murmurings over in your corner. What's happening over there? Is it a crowd pleaser?
It's getting tense over here. I was hearing some cheers. I think your head was in your hands at one point. How are we feeling? Can we see Thomas's vision?
We can. He's here. We can indeed. Yes.
How are you feeling looking at that squad?
It's a squad to win the tournament. Simple as that.
Are we all in agreement? I'm going to come right here. We're all in agreement. Any curveballs?
Obviously, I would like to see Bowen in there, but hopefully next time.
West Ham
fan, yeah.
Yeah, I would have liked to see Miles Lewis-Skelly, but yeah, I've got to believe in the boys that are there.
I was hoping for Danny Welbeck. He's had a great season, but looks a great squad.
I was hoping to see Maguire, but he's not here.
Cole Palmer, I think, should have been in it, but you know.
Are we confident?
Yes.
Yeah, we're all confident. Okay, I like that. Yeah, round of applause. We love that. We love that. We love that. Right, we have heard from the fans, and there's only one person we're still to hear from.
We will rock this thing in America next year. Chance.
Thomas Tuchel, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you here live and exclusive. Make some noise on the official England app. Oh, right. The news is finally out there. How are you feeling about this list of players now? It's finally out there for the world to see.
Yeah, it was a lot of phone calls over the last 3 days. And of course, a lot of thinking, a lot of deciding, a lot of difficult decisions to make. So now I'm feeling in between relieved and excited and ready to go, because once you get the energy back and once you see the excitement of the players that you chose and once the decisions are made, it gives you a certain edge, it gives clarity. And yeah, in 1 week, a bit longer than 1 week, we're in the plane, and I can't wait to be in the plane and actually be a coach.
Now, all the decisions have been made. How nice the fact you can move on from those now, and you can actually start to visualise the journey to the tournament, and then once you're there, visualise and plot your way through it. Yeah, we build our way through the tournament, meaning meetings and trainings already. So the pre-camp, the first 10 days are already planned out. But once the decisions are made, it's just a different feel to it. And like I said, it takes quite a while, and we don't make it easy on ourselves. You go through a lot of scenarios. We hopefully are together for 6-7 weeks. So a lot of factors play into that nomination process. But yeah, like I said, I love the difficult decisions, and I love the tough decisions, because they bring in the end clarity, they bring a certain edge, and it's what you need to go all the way.
Thomas, can I ask you about difficult decisions? Because ultimately, being the England manager, you're never going to please anyone, because everyone's squad is very different.
Yeah.
And the fact from the public demand and the media pressure as well, does that kind of influence your decision-making into picking the squad? Because it's hard to please the whole nation.
Yeah, it's hard to please, and I think in the end, we have to pick the squad that we as a staff are convinced, and then that we love and that we really believe. Because you were players on the highest level. You feel the love of your coach. You feel the trust, and if there are doubts, you just don't play on the same level. So in the end, it comes down to that: whom do we really trust? Who delivered for us? Who created a culture, especially from September onwards? Who set the standards, who were the drivers, who was the leadership group, and then we heavily relied on that, because I think the connection has to be there. It is not fully out of the picture what the public thinks and what the media thinks, because somehow it's a bit of a tool to challenge myself. What would I think from the outside? Is this now totally crazy? Do we talk ourselves now into a corner and this is too much of a theoretical approach? But mostly it's about the energy and the connection and the trust between me and the players.
And you speak about the connections. The chemistry is really important, because I look at Arsenal, there's a lot of title winners in there as well. You know, of course, Miles will be disappointed in that sense. But how important is that chemistry in a squad environment?
I think everything I know about international football and everything I hear about international football is about the team and about the chemistry. And I think it is a time at this very moment where it's so obvious that teams win the titles in football. This is maybe a good news. We have a Champions League final of two fantastic teams who are ready to sacrifice their ego for a greater cause, who are ready to support each other from the bench. When they're substituted, we had a semi-final where the Ballon d'Or winner Ousmane Dembele goes off the pitch, and after 68 minutes there is no complaining. It's proper teamwork from both teams. We have two teams with City and Arsenal who totally define themselves over teamwork. So, yeah, what we're trying to achieve in summer can only be achieved as a team. So the unique thing in international football and in a tournament is we're hopefully a long time together, but we're 24/7 together in the club. If you think, okay, I saw everyone enough, let's have a free afternoon or give a day off. Yeah. That's a little bit tricky. And a lot of thinking went into these soft factors. A lot of thinking went into this. How do we get the chemistry right? And I think it's important that each player knows their role, and I think for that we chose a very balanced squad.
I take you didn't see my squad then, it was very different.
Yeah, very different. I mean, I want to, of course, address some of the players you've left out, because I know that people will be watching and would want us to ask those questions. Some big names, of course. I can see you're smiling, so you know what's coming, right? So, of course, Cole Palmer, you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, Foden, Harry Maguire, these types of players who have been pivotal over the years for England and have been exceptional players. Can you talk me through the decision-making behind leaving those players out?
Oh, difficult phone calls, because I respect all of them, and I respect them as players, as personalities. All of them have been in camp with us. All have been excellent. All of them deserved, a lot of them, and all of them that you named deserved a call-up from this list of 55. To reduce it was difficult, sometimes painfully difficult, and like even in the phone calls, I felt the emotion. So I called all players that were with us in camp at least one time. I called them. I wanted to show at least the appreciation and the respect for what they have done. A lot of them, like I said, deserved to be with us. In the end, we went back to the evidence that we had, and the evidence we had was in September, October, and November, where the leadership group and the team in itself, where we made some bigger calls in September and repeated the camp with the same group, and then had only very few changes in November. That felt that we have a bit of fresh air. We have a bit of we have younger players who play with hunger and excitement, and it was a good mix between young and old, youthfulness and senior partnership, and it brought the best out of the players. And we want to recreate that kind of spirit. That's why we rely heavily on that group. That was the majority of the group that was with us in these 3 camps. Does this mean that the other guys that you mentioned did anything wrong? No. For some of them, it's just a positional thing, that we also tried to have a balanced squad and not to bring 5 number 10s and make them play out of position, because whom would we do a favor with that? The player, ourselves? I don't think so. So, like I said, these tough decisions had to be made before the tournament, I think, to not carry them throughout the tournament. And even if they are painful, especially for the players, and not easy to deliver, I think it was the right call to take them.
Yeah. And on the chemistry of the camp and you know I suppose the camaraderie which the players have built alongside yourself as well. Talk to me about the mindset of when you chose the squad as well, taking into account current form versus the player profiles that you're referring to now, because the profiles clearly fit your vision, right? But do you take into account the form of players as well, or are you making decisions from a while back going, irrelevant of what happens at club level, I believe in you and I think you fit what I'm trying to do?
It can be, but Daniel, you're completely right. It's a mix of all of that. It's actually a mix of all of that. What did they do for us? Does someone bring a total different profile on a position? Do we have like one offensive fullback, for example, and one who loves defending? So can we choose also against whom we play on the wing? What is the task? And have maybe different profiles. It is, of course, it was heavily influential what they did for us. And then we monitored them, we watched them, and of course it's never out of the picture what you do for your club. But in doubt, it counted also something, and it counted a lot what you did for us. What did we see? How did the group behave? How did they interact? Just a little example that maybe it's not so theoretical. Like after the match that we played in September, the 5-0 in Serbia, and The players did not know that we see them like 5, 6 players who were not actually playing, went after the game. There was close to the dressing room were like some training, it was a training facility with low quality pitches, low quality lighting. So they did their running suddenly in the dark, and they didn't know that we saw. So they were just together, and like it was such a, like, you know, from the players who didn't play, they did not complain, they didn't create their own group, and they did not whisper, and they were not angry. They just said, okay, come on, let's put the cherry on top and let's do some runs out there in the dark. And you just felt like, okay, that's basically what you wish for. And so we stayed with this group and built something. We could feel it. March camp, we opened it up, gave everyone a chance, which was very nice to see. And yeah, like I said, decisions were difficult, but someone had to take them.
Sure. Thomas, you also had the opportunity to make some very nice phone calls, I'm sure. You're giving some opportunities to players to play at their first major tournament. Even for Dan Burn, 34 years old, for him to be able to go to a World Cup. How special was that for you to give these?
Some amazing phone calls, some amazing feedback. I don't want to share because it's of course private, but what I can say, like also to our fans, the level of emotions and of the emotion and what it means to the players to get that call, even for players who are not there for the first time, even for players where you think, okay, but he should like be pretty sure that he's with us. It was very, very nice to see, and with every phone call I got like to say that they are selected, I was more sure that we took the right choices.
Right, well, we've grilled you enough, okay? You're going to take a pause on Theo and Daniel's questions.
You were very kind.
Have you got any questions from the fans?
The grilling's only just started on this side. Gary, we're gonna start with you.
Got a question from my father.
Yeah.
Looking at the final 26 players, do you really believe this reflects the best individual talent or the best group to win the World Cup?
Hopefully the best group. We were, from day one, we said we will always try to select and build the best group, which is maybe not necessarily just to collect the best talents and only the 26 most talented players. It will always be the group and the team that's in the main focus, and I hope we did this. That was the headline in selecting this group, because we need to be committed. If we want to achieve what we want to achieve, this can only be done as a team, and that was basically the thinking behind it.
And Dara, I know you're itching to ask something.
Obviously, you've named a fantastic squad. Have you allowed yourself to think about what it would be like to achieve the ultimate of winning the tournament, and what would that mean to you if it were to happen?
So to be totally honest, yeah, it is allowed to dream. It's also I can dream about it for a little time of the day, and then very, very quickly you go back and chunk it up in steps that you can actually influence. So we were also with this very clear to the players in the very first camp in March last year, and we said, let's try to win it. Let's try to play with hunger. Let's try to make our fans proud. How we present ourselves as a team, because I strongly believe that you can feel it if the energy is right, if the commitment is right, if the chemistry between the players is right, if this is really a brotherhood. I believe that the fans will notice and they will see. So that was what was the question? Where did I go now?
The last bit is, what would it mean to you?
So and then but at the same time we were very clear. Let's try and win it. Let's play with hunger. Let's play with excitement. And so the goal is clear, but it's important that we chunk it up. The focus will now be on the 10 days of pre-camp, and then the next focus will be on the group phase. Otherwise, it's a bit a lot to digest if we take it all at once.
And our final question from Kyle.
Hi, Thomas. I just wanted to touch on tactically how you may set us up. You've played the 4-2-3-1 for most of the qualifying campaign. Will you be flexible with your formation depending on the opponent? Maybe in the latter stages going to a back three, or you stick to the formation that served us well?
It's never out of the window. Very good question. You could see in the selection that we chose 3 goalkeepers, we chose 9 defenders for 4 positions, we chose 7 midfielders for 3 positions. Like you said, a 6, a 8 and a 10, and 7 attackers for 3 positions. So the idea is to stick with this formation. I think adaptation comes naturally in the defensive approach because there are so many different ways to build up from the other teams. There are so many different formations on the other side. So I think it's a strength of us, and it should be flexible to adapt our defensive approach, that we can go into a high press and it looks just different. It depends to the build-up and the formation of the opponent. Will we change our structure? I think we will try to stick with what makes us strong, and we have a clear idea that we have the players in the right positions, and we have the key players in the positions where they can really influence. So the target is more to reconnect with our values and reconnect with our principles in the first 10 days. Then prepare Croatia for 5 days in Kansas, and once they go over the starting line, it's more about pushing them, making them strong, trusting them to find solutions, and not tweaking too much tactically.
Thank you, Thomas, for answering our questions openly and honestly. I think everyone wanted to hear them. And I think we've got one more surprise. Am I right saying that?
We do indeed. Thomas, take a breather. Yeah. All right, we'll let you sit back for a moment's time as we've got a message just in from the England captain. Here's Harry Kane.
Hi everyone, just want to say I'm extremely proud to be going to another World Cup. I never take these moments for granted. These are all the things I dreamed of growing up. So to be able to represent my country for a third time at a World Cup is going to be really, really special. Can't wait to be there with the boys and hopefully have an amazing experience. So really proud. Just want to say thanks for all the messages, all the support as always. And can't wait to see you all this summer.
I'm looking forward to that as well, seeing him on the pitch. Thomas, we know Harry's qualities when it comes to the football side of things and what he can give us on the pitch. What does he bring off it, though, within that leadership group and with the wider squad as well?
Well, he is part of a decent leadership group in our team. And this group, I have to say, took ownership and took responsibility, especially from September onwards. We took massive steps with them, and they were in charge, and they were driving the standards, they were driving the culture, they were setting the rules, taking care of the rules and like I said, and the culture in camps. And Harry was a big part of it. So it's a pleasure to coach him, to have him as our captain. He had a very, very strong season. And I think he will come strong into the tournament. He has another final to play in the Cup final in Germany, and will then be part of the leadership group and push. He took massive steps also since September in leading the group and being vocal, and it was good to see.
Theo, just quickly talking about Harry Kane, I mean, how important are those leaders within the squad, especially for some of the younger players, to have someone of Harry Kane's quality on and off the pitch? How much can they provide to the young players?
I mean, it's just his habits. I think the daily habits, the things that we don't see, I think is really important because he's likely to be the first up for breakfast, kind of connect with everyone. He's a player that demands, quality for himself, which then will feed into the group. I think it's really important because it's just the subtle things, even if it's a pass to a right-footed player. I know these players are technically both-footed and gifted, but it's just the fine details. And he has that. It's the things afterwards as well, when you're probably telling guys that they, to look after themselves, but he knows what's best for him. And I think it's getting that balance right with the the staff and the playing department as well. So I think communication is so key, because at times, in previous years, I'm not quite sure how it was for yourself, Studs, remember, but at times, there's things you couldn't do maybe, or maybe those connections in the conversations weren't there or available to you so easily now. And everything's always magnified, isn't it? Social media now we spoke about. So that's a different side of it. He's had to adapt going into different generations of England squads. So for me, I think everyone's going to lean on him. We're all going to lean on him. England squad going to lean on him. Just not to put too much pressure on him, but how he can handle it. That's the thing. That's the thing. He can handle it. Take it away from Thomas. So yeah, for me, he's exceptional to be at that level consistently as well. And for me, still doesn't get the rewards he should get. So yeah, I mean, come on, Harry. Yeah.
Come on, Harry, indeed. Right, we know our squad. It's time to look at the journey ahead of us. England's group stage fixtures are right here. We have a huge opener against Croatia on the 17th of June in Dallas. That one kicks off 9 p.m. UK time. Then it's England facing Ghana on the 23rd of June in Boston, and England round off the group with a match against Panama on the 27th of June in New Jersey. But Thomas, you've already mentioned the prep camp we'll have before those group stages. We have that in Miami. We know that Crystal Palace and Arsenal players will finish their season a little bit later than everyone else. How will that impact your prep camp?
They will not be with us on the 1st of June, so we decided to have a pre-camp in the US to acclimatize, to get used to the heat, exposed to the heat and humidity. That was a clear recommendation from the specialists. So we will have 2 friendly matches, and it will not be a selection camp because selection is done. So I hope the energy will be a bit more relaxed. We will have morning training sessions. We will have morning meetings to reconnect with our playing identity, with our style. And then the afternoons we can use the afternoons almost like in club football. The players can connect with each other. There are days where they can meet friends, family. Friends, families can also come into the hotel. So it will be a more of a relaxed atmosphere in the first 10 days. We will then use the 2 friendly matches to give everyone minutes and to grow into the rhythm. Arsenal and, like you said, Arsenal players will come a bit later, so we will bring some young and promising players out with us to train with us, that we have enough players to train properly and have enough options for the 2 friendly matches.
Daniel, you played at the World Cup in Brazil, as we talked about. How do you prepare for the climate out there as a player?
Well, we did a training in the chamber at SGP, which was obviously intense. But again, they're going to Miami, right? So, you know, the weather's going to be good. You got to keep them locked in, though, because Miami's a nice place, Thomas. Hey, we all know that, Thomas. Well, you got to keep an eye, a close eye.
I know very well.
Yeah, you know. So, but I think it's important. I mean, even the game in Boston, I've been to Boston many times. It's a really humid place.
Yeah.
So it's important for them to, you know, feel it and to... Yeah. It's nothing like a game, though, because it's a lot more intense, a lot more anxiety around it all, a lot more anticipation around it all. So it's important to stay calm, you know, and as a group, understand what you're going into and expect it, not feel like, you know, this is something new. You need to feel as if you've lived the experience before you live the experience.
Thomas, there's no easy matches in the World Cup. We all know that. What are the challenges you've identified with those different opponents in the group stages? 3 very different teams.
3 very different teams. I mean, none of them has a lot of matches, so we're already, in the opposite to club football, we are already able to analyze them and have a clear picture of what's coming. I think it's a very difficult opening game, England versus Croatia. It sounds almost like a quarter-final, semi-final, and is just the opener of group stage. I'm also doing it for the first time, but I think that the tension will rise naturally. Of course, group phase is different, because if things don't go so well in the beginning, you're still able to repair it. So like I said, it's, I think, the best for us to chunk it up. What do we want of the 10 days prep camp? Then we move to Kansas, full focus on our group matches. And then I think it starts between the 2nd and the 3rd group match, where we have a very, very, very condensed schedule. So if we win the group, we play every fourth day, which means 3 days rest only in between, and which means basically you have non-stop away matches, because you don't have home matches and the distances are long. So it will be demanding. We have to be on point with the messages and the video sessions and the meetings that we give to the players. And the players have to buy in, but first we need to play the group before we think about knockout football, but naturally the tension will just grow.
Theo, give us some insight, a player's perspective, being a major tournament, that group stage. Do you go into it thinking we just want to win every single game, not even thinking about the possibility of what could go wrong?
I think so. There's always that fear because it's the aftermath of that. However, I think it's great to isolate each individual game, and it's such at times maybe a boring answer. However, players are that focused. They kind of concentrate on maybe not just the game, then it's the training session. How am I going to prepare myself to be in the best frame of mind for that game? I think it's really important because at times we can really, I think visualisation, which you're really big into visualisation, and I was as well. I'm sure you've got incredible stories about this because he's won a lot more than myself. However, if that's important as well, I think it's always picturing moments where you can see yourself in games. And why not? I think those dreams, every kid, you guys there have dreamt about this moment. Live it with the players. Even the Studger's story, just tell me about your story with the visualisation because that was fascinating for me.
Oh no, it was the mind room really. When this was at club level, but you would have all these little things go on your body, and then you sort of looking at the screen, they might flash a lion up, and you react to it, and then it's almost testing how calm you are. It's sort of like your breathing and your rhythms, and then you visualise yourself playing, and then they'll check kind of how your body's responding to that. And you want to, as I said, it talks about living the experience. You want to see yourself scoring a goal. You want to see a last-ditch challenge. You want to see the goalkeeper making a great save. Those are the things you need to feel like as I said, you've lived it. You feel it in your body. And I think in regards to the actual games and leading up to the group, for me, the first game's always important psychologically. You don't want to lose that game for sure. It doesn't mean you're out, of course, but I think psychologically, especially at international level, it sets the tone, and it builds the anticipation and builds momentum. So I think for me, it is a big game. To Thomas's point, it's a huge game against Croatia. It does feel like a quarter or a semi-final, but the boss over here is well prepared, for that, and I'm really excited to see what team you go with too.
Yeah. I think we're all very, very excited. Right, final question, I think, for Thomas and all the England fans. Can we go all the way? Yes. Yeah. We can indeed. Right, that's almost everything we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. A huge thank you, of course, Daniel Sturridge, FIFA World Cup, Morph and the England panel. And, of course, the man himself. Thank you so much, Thomas Tuchel. We're all behind you. Keep the round of applause going behind yourself and the squad. Now, don't forget, the official England app is the place where you'll find everything you need to know about England's World Cup journey, first, live and exclusive. Thank you for watching. We'll leave you with something pretty special to get you in the mood for a spectacular summer ahead.
Just like them because they're English, do you think? Do you think they're very English?
I think we're jolly English, actually.